There was an article this week in the New York Times by Laura Jackson about how people want to belong. Laura explores the topic of belonging and some of the factors contributing to it, including the idea that the secularization of America has now been put on pause. Here in Chicago in the Midwest in Illinois, we're welcoming spring finally with the arrival of the robin, always a welcome sign, signals that spring is finally here. This is from a new art exhibit in the Fine Arts Building called Under Pressure, Birds of North America. Immediately brings to my mind the author Mary McCarthy in her book, Birds of America, about people from the New World navigating the Old World, which is what we often find ourselves doing. Also, the theme that we can't make people a means to an end. We all have to exercise our free will without it treading on the free will of each other and on the natural world. Welcome to Illinois Bridging Awareness. I'm Stanley Smith. I worked on a new art exhibit here in the Fine Arts Building on the topic of Native American birds. And it was a pleasure learning more about those species and also seeing the first signs of spring continuing to bloom all around us in Illinois and here in Chicago. This beautiful American redbud blooming next to the L tracks. This is behind the Merchandise Mart in downtown Chicago. I'm always intrigued by these spots of beauty amongst kind of the discordant urban setting, and the idea that nature really um, it kind of upstages everything else all around it. We had a mild controversy this week. Martha Stewart was cited in Chicago shopping for a new TV show. She was spotted at the Posh store on North State Street, and some of the people in our signal and text channel were kind of up in arms about how we could have a convicted felon in our midst, but it's happened before. Also, the raging controversy of the internet meme, I think they're called memes, of President Trump dressed as the Pope. This whole Pope experience has given me new appreciation to how Jewish people must feel at Christmas time because I'm not Roman Catholic, and this has been essentially a non-event to me. But I realize it's really quite important to a number of people, and the intriguing dichotomy of outrage over this image because Roman Catholics apparently find it shocking and hurtful. And unexpectedly, the strong Trump supporters are offended also because they think it's demeaning to have President Trump portrayed as the Pope. Uh, I had the first chance to get into Grant Park for a lunch break and have a quick little picnic here with the grass and the beautiful spring green in front of the Chicago Hilton on South Michigan Avenue this week. Also had the pleasure of attending Chicago Law Day celebration in Daley Plaza. And again, the beautiful spring green against the architecture of the city. This was a celebration of the Chicago bar law professionals in the Chicago area, judges and lawyers, with the choir singing and performing with a number of keynote speakers talking about the topic, the importance of law in our culture and society. This is the choir in full force. They sang about 5 or 6 different pieces, starting off with a religious inspired number and a Gilbert and Sullivan piece and a choral fugue of Nations of the World. I was so intrigued by this piano that magically appeared in Daley Plaza, this grand piano, perhaps baby grand, that appeared out of nowhere. And I found it so charming that piano kind of out of place, but it seemed to fit right in and landed a little elegance. I think this gentleman's name was Jeremy, and someone pointed out to me later that he never wears the same shoe. He wears 2 different shoes with different socks. Guess that's his little quirk of personality. But again, this beautiful piano juxtaposed with the oxidized finish of the Daley Plaza building in the background. Stressful moment of my week was pursuing my real ID. It's been a topic around the state, and I'm sure in neighboring states, as the approaching date actually was today that you needed to have your real ID in order to travel. There are some nuances of that, which we'll explain in another coffee hour. But um, this pursuit of the real ID took me ultimately to the Federal Center Post Office, where I hop, skippity jumped to a shortcut, a workaround. I renewed my passport, my US passport instead, which saved me the line, saved me a number of hurdles to jump through to get the necessary identification. And soon I'll be up and running for any travel I might want to pursue. In the Daily Plaza today, I was so intrigued by the just that the old and the new. Mary McCarthy alluded to that in her novel, navigating the new world through the lens of the old, or vice versa. And here we have the actually both old, but the more old City Hall architecture, reminiscent of the past, with the more modern Miesian architecture of the 60s, and literally looking through the glass of the new at the old. Kind of rolled around in my mind the idea of the evaporating future. The future and the new is always evaporating right before our eyes into the past. After the concert, we went to the Walnut Room at the Marshall Field building, which you can see reflected in this mirrored building across the State Street from the Walnut Room. We're actually in the Walnut Room here, looking toward the Daily Plaza Federal Building, with the reflection of the Field Building, Marshall Field Building, on this mirrored wall. Thanks for the same juxtaposition, but entirely different building. Wherever you are in your daily travels here in Illinois, we all see reflections of ourselves and different realities all around us. That is our challenge, to navigate our own free will without infringing on the free will of others, and without infringing too much on the natural world. It is springtime here in Illinois and elsewhere around the country, and we can stop for a moment and appreciate that and appreciate others. And that's exactly what we do every Saturday on the Illinois Bridging Awareness Call. We take a moment to appreciate each other, share, and hopefully learn how to better navigate our world right here in Illinois. I will include my email in the description of this video. The Saturday call is every Saturday at 9 a.m. Central Time on Zoom. I'll be happy to send you an invitation, and I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.